Okay, this is like the third take, or fourth. I think the third one I probably did like upside down, but who cares? Oh, look at my lefty hair today. My lefty hair is glowing. Why is it glowing? Because I have ideas. Ideas that took me like a week and a half to come up with because one, the bastarding sun has been too fucking warm, and two, I didn't want to blow my loads too quick onto the Bukkake of everyone echoing the same ideas. Yay, Starmer's out. Yay, he's out of office. Yay, it's all gonna get better. No, it fucking isn't. We're just gonna have same of the same bullshit, but just with a different guy with this Andy Bumsack, Andy Bumhead. You know, as I said, I wanted to take some time to just think of something else to bring to the table, right? And maybe even some practical advice on what we can do. This is kind of lateral thinking, a little bit outside of the box, outside of politics, but just bear with me with this. Usually we all know how democracy works. I don't know if I said this before in the video, but I don't really care. This is so fucking jumbled. Normally how democracy works is we vote for like one guy out of 3, 5, 10 different parties, can we say. For a long time, it's been Tory or Labour, two sides of the same arse cheek. And whenever we get a guy voted into power, normally, I'll reference here America, for 4 years, they'll have someone in power. During that time, whoever's in charge makes good choices and bad choices. And with every bad choice, there's a consequence. Or slot getting pissed off, annoyed, a bit miffed, can we say. And once those 4 years are up, we get a new guy in because we vote for maybe the same party or a different party or whatever the case may be. A new guy comes into power, and then the anger level that we're at gets reset because we've got this new guy, and it's like, okay, we can forget all about that previous shit. This new guy's gonna fix it all, and then it's the same song and dance just with a different knobhead. And then the anger goes back up. 4 years go by. A new guy gets put into power, and then the anger the anger meter gets reset. But this time is different. A lot of us are not gonna forget what the fuck happened while Starmer was in fucking office. Axel Bicky Zuzak, winter fuel payment getting cut off, taxes going up and up and up, more and more legislation, bragging about people being arrested for hate speech, the guy being literally the personification of a politician, and every word that came out of this guy's mouth was a lie, a fucking lie, a lie to the point where, tell you what, fucking, who remembers Rishi fucking Sunak from the Tories, Big fucking posh twatted rat ears. I used to call him rat ears Sunak. I'm gonna try and edit a little picture of like Rishi Sunak and the rat right here so you can see. Yeah, so now that Starmer's out of office, this reset button is now meant to reset. We're supposed to now calm down, but we're not really gonna forget, are we? No, because now it's now fucking Andy Bumhead who's meant to come into office. Nobody's actually voted for him, so if he does come into power, then it's not even a fucking democracy at this fucking point. It's actually going to be more of an authoritarian regime. But this is pretty much how like democracies have worked so far. Like, we vote someone into power, the anger goes up and up and up, new guy comes in and gets reset. And then he does what he's doing, the anger goes up and up and up, vote a new guy in, gets reset, and so on and so forth. But it's not really happening this time around. Funny enough, when the Tories were in office beforehand in the last election, everyone was making the joke on how, oh god, the Tories, they can't keep someone into office for more than a year or 6 months. But now this has happened to Labour. Now they don't even have that fucking foot to step on. I even remember the fucking time with fucking Starmer. You were in office for 2 shitting years, and you kept saying about how we've inherited a terrible situation from the previous country's government. You had 2 years, dickhead. 2 fucking years! Yeah, so this is pretty much how this democracy has been going on. Outside of democracy, though, we have something called a monarchy. What most people don't realise, in the UK, by default, we were actually a monarchy for the longest time. I don't exactly know when we started being a democracy. That's something I'm going to look into for a video for another day. That's an idea for in future. But the way that a monarchy normally works is, I'll put myself on the table here. I am in charge of the government, and I'm going to be in charge of the government until the day I die, because I am, the royalty, your majesty, the king. This is pretty much how a monarchy works. I am in charge of making all the right decisions and difficult decisions. And everything good and everything bad is going to tally up over the years, the decades even. And everything good and bad that I do is going to eventually build up and up. Like that reset meter that I have prophesized in the democracy, a monarchy doesn't necessarily have that luxury. Because if you piss off people for long enough and restrict people's freedom of speech and restrict people's freedoms and their rights and just whittle away at people's patience for fucking long enough, you get an uprising, a riot, basically, well, what the fuck's happening right now? A lot of people in the UK pissed off. A lot of protests and riots. I, myself, have ended up being a part of. Not necessarily rioting, but I've seen the protests, and boy howdy, people are pissed off. But with how a monarchy works, there isn't that luxury of voting a new guy into office just to reset that anger button, because as I'm in charge for, say, the 40, 60, 80 years of my life, I'm then going to pass on my legacy, my kingdom, to my first son or daughter. Is going to inherit like this kingdom legacy I'm going to leave behind, and they're going to inherit both the good and the bad. And so from like a moral point of view, not legal, because something's legal doesn't necessarily mean it's moral. Morally, I'm going to want to do the best I can possibly do, for the people, keep jobs fair, keep the government out of people's lives as much as possible. Could say like dictator, authoritarian, but like morally, I'm going to want to keep everyone happy so there's no uprising. And also, I'm going to want to keep everyone happy so there isn't an uprising during my child's, time of ruling, their time to be king or queen or dame, like a fucking blur between king and queen. Just, if any of those fucking wokeists out there that want to say like, oh, they're misogynist, shut up, all right? I'm including you. You screech loud enough through the fucking screen in the comment section. Shush. I plugged you in. Be happy with it, alright? I've mentioned you. Yeah, that's normally how a monarchy works. Is it necessarily better than a democracy? Well, there's pros and cons, because if you look out through history, we've had good monarchies and we've had bad monarchies. And why do I bring up a monarchy? Well, funny enough, monarchies are family orientated, yet governments, democracy, are not. Democracy and government is to look after as many people as possible by any means deemed necessary, but it's more of a quantity over quality basis. Right now, everyone, right, especially I'm going to address this to the blokes, we all need to start running our own little monarchies. And what do I mean by that? Is developing strong communities, strong men, strong father figures, motherly figures. Basically just start building our own little mini empires. In this democracy that we're in, we didn't get here overnight. It happened over a slow period of government stepping forward, getting everybody pissed off and letting them calm down, stepping forward, pissing everybody off and letting them calm down, and then stepping forward. We need to now not only push back from it with protest and communicating and etc. We need to start to becoming more independent and less dependent on said government. We need to start building our own little communities and building and doing our own little things, essentially. This could be anything in terms of maybe starting a business, maybe starting like a little YouTube channel, because this is what I'm doing. If I can get monetized and I can get a little bit of money off this, then yeah, great. That's one step away from me being sovereign from government, bog standard job, because fucking hell, that's harder than ever nowadays, because if you say the wrong thing or think the wrong thought, that's you, gone, no matter how fucking qualified you are. Or even me as an example, I've even got little ideas of doing like a litter pick with like cans of metal or something. Like I'm gonna have like a little waste bin. So if I ever come across like little cans of metal or whatever it is, I'm gonna put them in the bin, send it to the fucking recycling unit, and it's not much, but it would eventually build over time. And then eventually if I do that, you know, month after month, fortnight after fortnight, you know, whatever basis I get to set, because I'm setting my own monarchy, I can then collaborate with other monarchs, other people. So just to go down this line of thinking, if I'm, you know, making money off the like tins I'm doing, I meet a few of the guys who are at the, you know, the scrapyard or whatever it is, then they start getting onto it, and then their mates start getting onto it. Not only are we all starting to make a little bit more money individually, it's better for the environment, the streets start to look cleaner, we start building that community, might even start building a bit of like a network. A government has a network, so why can't we build our own? See what I mean? You know what, I'm just gonna leave that video here. Right now, if we wanna be anti-government, we can't just be protesting. And not that I advocate for rioting, not that I advocate for violence against authorities, because I'd like to believe we're better than that. All I can say is I can understand why people are doing what they're doing. I don't condone it, but the protesting and or rioting, again, the rioting bit I don't condone, that bit is only gonna get us so far. On an individual basis, we all need to be doing something that's gonna be adding to, if you want to call this like a society, a collective, a humanitarianism. I don't really know what necessarily to call this next thing that we need to build across, because we need to build something that can withstand this said government. Because right now, we're all at the base level, basically suffocating, and this government is on top. We need to build something outside of this government that can then surpass it, and then it will then start doing what we want it to do, not the other way around. Anyway, there's the video. It took me about a week and a half to finally get around to recording this. I hope it makes sense. If not, just comment in the little box there below. We can talk about things, discuss things. I'm all open for conversation and communication, because that's what I like to do. If you so wish so, please like and subscribe my tits off. That's going to be my thing now. And I hope to see you at a protest or in the next video. All right, take it easy. See ya.